What's this thing called love? As you know, love, true love, is in the eyes of the beholder. And the beholder is that person who admires another and have deep emotions for that person in hope of one day becoming as one. As the Bible describes its definition of true love from the book of 1 Corinthians 13:4-7. It describes love as this passage famously lists the qualities of love, describing it as patient, kind, not envious or boastful, not proud, and not rude, not self-seeking, and not easily angered, and keeping no record of wrongs. It rejoices with the truth and always protects and always trusts, always hope, and always preserves. That's the Bible and God's definition of true love. As we prepare ourselves for today's sermon entitled, What's This Thing Called Love? Hosted by yours truly, Lee Royale of Real Talk Boston. Let's go. We're going to start this sermon off by me asking you a question. How many of you believe in real and true love that's being given, received, and reciprocated as well, meaning given back equally in return, or perhaps even more than you love them? Because as you know, that real love is truly in the eyes of the beholder, meaning the person that holds strong and willing internal emotions and feelings for you are waiting to share those special moments with you. Because the feelings that dwell so deep inside for you that person anticipation is so overbearing that they can't wait to express themselves to you. Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about real love with no gimmicks or games involved in the process. Folks, from the heart of Beantown, Boston, Mass, we bring you this podcast hosted by Lee Royale entitled, What's This Thing Called Love? Let's go. Folks, as you know, love is a beautiful thing. And what's this thing that we call love manifested solely out of the purpose of informing people that you don't have to settle for nothing less than what your heart and your mind and your soul desires. When God created human nature, He created man for woman and woman for man. So those of you that believe that there's no one out there for you, God sealed that thought up by creating both the male and the female in human nature. So there's somebody for everybody. No matter how you look, there's somebody for everybody. But when you start focusing on the wrong things, that's when things begin to spiral downhill. But when you focus on the important things of two people being together in a monogamous relationship, that's when you get positive results. Folks, according to science, studies have shown and proven that the average female matures much quicker than their counterpart, which in so many words means males don't mature as quick as a female. And in addition to that, a female maturity is slightly higher than a male's. And not that it's because they have some sort of advantage over males, though it may appear that way, and because of the reality behind the fact females tend to begin maturing at an early age. As well, I'll say around the age of 16 and a half, they begin paying close attention to their facial areas and body and outer appearance. And that's when they pretty much start wearing lipstick, makeup, and develop an interest for their counterpart, which is the male. And by the time they reach an adult age of 18, they've already made in their mind and anticipated in their mind what they want as it relates to a relationship and what type of man they anticipate on being with. Meanwhile, the average male teen spends more time hanging out with their friends, playing sports, and gaming against each other online, with little thought about having a girlfriend. So think, by now, you can clearly see the difference between the two, the male and the female. And once the both of them reaches the stage of maturity, they both begin then deciding what's best for their life. However, the nature of a female tends to want and desire the attention of their counterpart, the male. Oh, it doesn't stop there. In fact, the desire to interact with a male or a man becomes even greater, simply because the real and true nature of a woman is to show love and hopefully be loved in return. But as you know, not all things are done as intended or as planned. And that's where human attraction comes into play. Folks, studies shown that the average male between the age of 18 through 30 prefer to not to be tied down to more than one girl or woman, while they're having the desires to have a variety of them, as well as sex partners. And they're not concerned about how many females' hearts they break. But when it comes to them throwing in the towel and begin to just date one girl, folks, hear me now. In some cases, that process may work or be effective. And to some men that's truly ready to settle down with one woman instead of involving themselves with many women at a time. On the other hand, some men may fall short and still need more time to play around and that's when you have to make a choice as a woman or as a person if the shoe is on the other feet. If you want to deal with a situation such as that. Because as the saying goes, life is what we make it. So it's best that when chosen to be with someone in a relationship, it's best to set boundaries and standards before you decide to be with someone. But don't make those standards so high that it's impossible. And folks, believe it or not, the greatest part about being an adult is that you get to make all the right choices and decisions that you want to make and decide what's best for you without having someone force something or themselves upon you and not have your best interests at hand. In fact, don't allow anyone to choose for you. And be careful not to rush into anything that you may, in fact, regret later, simply because we now live in a crazy world filled with crazy people. Some good as well. But over the years, it's been shown that there's been a huge increase of violence in various states in the United States. So, anyone, until you truly take the time to know a person for a long period of time and not a short period of time, the better results and the better outcome you're going to get from that situation. And also, let me share this with you. When meeting somebody and anticipating rather you're going to end up having a future with that individual or just date them here and there. The fact of the matter is that you're allowing them in your life, in your space, when in fact, we need to be cautious about anybody that we allow in our life. So learn how to ask a person that you're dating or anticipating on being with any question that you want to ask them. And if for some reason they don't answer, change the subject or just disregard what you're asking them. Learn how to ask indirect questions to get direct answers. For example, if you're a woman, you can ask that person out of their parents, their mother and father, which one do they like the best? Listen carefully. Pay attention to every word that it sees out of their mouth. Because if they pick and choose between the two, then ask the next question. Why is that? Their reason really don't matter. The fact of the matter is that they're supposed to love and like both of their parents. Most cases have shown that people that comes from an dysfunctional family is more likely haven't gotten over that situation, and may result to negativity in your relationship with them or even violence. That's why it's important to ask indirect questions, no matter what it is, to get direct answers. In my closing, people, love is a beautiful thing. as long as it's with the right person. And as long as whatever you're giving out in terms of love is reciprocated back to you equally, or even greater than you may feel for that individual. But nevertheless, seek caution in terms of who you allow in your life and in your space and at this time in life. Once again, my name is Lee Royale, and I am your host of Real Talk Boston. Take care. Bye.